Finally, we're in game week. Ask any player that is on any team that's ever played football. Game week is the hard work is done. The grueling task of getting through camp is over. It's now about preparing for that team, and certainly the feel of excitement and the energy in our building is very good. We're all looking forward to getting to Houston. Houston being a great alumni base for us, and we're going to recruit in that area. And so it's a great place for us to be, an NFL venue, home of the Houston Texans. And then to line up against a very quality opponent in Wisconsin, a team from my background, we're really looking forward to playing. So. Fall camp update, again, very good camp. We came out of it without injury, and feel like we're in pretty good shape as we go into this game. We had a purpose in this summer. We recognized that we were taking on a very, very quality opponent, and we prepared this summer hard, came in shape, and I think it carried over in the football end of it. So. The goal is to get better in each practice. I thought they did that. I like our team. I like our leadership. So we will play both quarterbacks. Who goes onto the field first is significant, but who comes off the field and it's really going to be their best play. And we're looking forward to that happening. We have a tremendous stable of running backs, Kenny Hilliard, Terrence McGee in the veteran group, and certainly Leonard Fournette and Darrell Williams. Look forward to seeing them onto the field, and we will not hesitate to call their numbers. Offensive line is veteran. The leadership there is very, very good. The defense is a fast, physical group. They have quality depth at every position. Feel like they performed extremely well against us in summer camp and at scrimmages. We look forward to them playing. The special teams, Jamie Keene had as good a camp as he's capable of having, and we will look forward to him punting. Delahousse is going to be a guy that will figure in on national awards, and either Trent Domingue or Cameron Gamble will kick off for us, both of which have very strong legs, and our specialists are going to be very good. So Wisconsin, a Big Ten team with tremendous size. They were 9-4 a year ago. Head coach Gary Anderson's done a great job in his second year at Wisconsin. They've won in their past. They've won 3 Big Ten titles in the last 4 years. They're 12 straight consecutive bowl games. Tremendously proud tradition. I remember being recruited there. Mike Webster was the center on that team. That's how long ago it was, and it was very obvious that they cared very deeply about their teams, and that tradition is there. I was fortunate to be at Michigan as a player and as a coach and watch that. It was always difficult to play those guys, and we recognize the challenge. They returned 9 starters, 6 on offense, 3 on defense. Their running back, Melvin Gordon, is an all Big Ten player from a year ago. They are preparing to play again. 2 quarterbacks. Joel Stave is their starter from a year ago. He was a walk-on, won the job, started the last 13 games, and then Tanner McElvoy, who was a receiver and a safety, but had always been a quarterback, really moved from that position. I think it was safety in the winter of the year, and went back to quarterback, and has really competed extremely well there. And he's a guy that's got mobility to him and the ability to throw. So we're really preparing for both guys. But I think somebody said that Tanner McElvoy may well be the starter. I'm not. It doesn't make any difference at this point. We're preparing for what is Wisconsin's best. So They're a big offensive line, quality tailbacks, and they'll push the ball at you on the ground. Defensively, they veteran secondary. They're big up front, and all of their guys really have playing ability. In other words, you see them in backups all of last year, even if they didn't start. And so, even though there's not a lot of starters in that defensive line, they really are a talented group. So, in summary, we look forward to going to Houston, playing our best. It's a great challenge. We're looking forward to it. Again, it's game week, and we get to play against somebody else, not LSU. So, questions?
Hey, Coach, on the left, down here in front, can you give us an update on Jalen Mills? Will he play or will he be withheld from play on Saturday?
Jalen Mills is healthy and preparing to play.
Okay, and then another update on this depth chart you've given us. You have, Elliot Porter listed as starting center. Where's that battle between he and Posick?
I didn't give you that. That was given to you by somebody else, and that would not be. I would think that if I had to make that decision today, that Ethan Posick would be our center.
Hey, Les. Ricky Jefferson, two-part question. Why has he become such an effective safety, and what are the nuances or things that a guy has to learn going from offense to defense like he did?
Ricky Jefferson's always been a very physical player, very fast, great ball skills. But those nuances are, coverage in general and coverage lanes, run support lanes and fits that, have to be understood by the safeties. And I think that Ricky is becoming that. And I would have to think that he would be as talented as any of our safeties that we've had back there, just minus some experience.
Hey, Coach, back left, you mentioned both quarterbacks will play, especially this Saturday. Is it your hope that as the season goes on that one will become your starter, your main guy, or do you see advantages in playing both, obviously?
Well, right now, if there was one quarterback that gave us all the advantages, to play, then at some point in time, that guy would be our starter after he determined, that it was an advantage to his team to play him in all situations, from start to finish. That separation's not occurred. We're preparing to play both guys. If those things happen, it will certainly play out in front of us. But competition will make that work.
Les, right here. You had a battle all fall camp at right guard. Do you expect Hoko to start Saturday, or is that battle not?
I think Hoko is really improved. I think the back end of camp he has come on, and I would think that he would start. I think that Washington might still play in spots, not only at the guard spot or one of the tackles.
Hey, Coach, with so many new players that you may be counting on this year, is it a bit of a mystery how they'll perform until you get them in a game situation, or as practice you feel kind of reflected what to expect?
Well, you look at our young players and you think about our quarterbacks. Certainly, the one's been with us for a year plus, and the other one really came in the spring of the year. So I would expect that both of those guys would play like we've seen them play. I wouldn't suggest that it should be a mystery to us. I think we would expect that those guys would play that way. Well, I think our young receivers, kind of behind Yarse, a veteran, kind of behind Travian Durrell, but our young receivers all can play. They're talented guys. Malachi Dupree's going to line up and do certain things. I think you'll find that Trey Quinn can play in a variety of spots for us. Chark will also play in a variety of spots for us. So you're looking at three young, very talented receivers that will go to the field and play, and we'll look forward to it because I think that they're that kind of athlete that would require maybe double coverage, and then that opportunity to throw him the ball is certainly there.
You mentioned the wide receivers over here.
I got you.
First of all, I'm curious, as head coach,
you don't have any more input on the depth chart than that? You can't get your way?
No, I can get my way. I think this is my way. So, I have it's going exactly how I would script it, to be honest. So,
So you can veto this depth chart that we have?
absolutely.
Okay.
But I guess what I'm saying is that was probably a great guess. You know, maybe until Monday. So,
Okay, about that depth chart. As touted as this freshman class is, there are not a lot of them on here. You mentioned the wide receivers. If you had to guess, how many true freshmen do you think will play, and how many, and how many will play really, really key roles?
6 to 12, and I think 6 will play key roles. Don't ask me to name those guys. What the hell? Yeah. Go ahead.
What you said, neither quarterbacks distinguish themselves to that point. Are you still looking this week for some daylight there? And does it ever become a concern that for them or for the team that it becomes a distraction or a problem not knowing who's going to
Well,
be
the good
guys?
news is it's we're going to play the best player that gives us the greatest chance at victory, whenever that is. And so I think the distraction is and can only be brought in by other people, and because the only opinion that's worth a damn is that opinion that's derived in our building. And so that opinion will play those guys, and everybody in that building will understand that's the reason why. So, if at some point in time it's one guy, if at some point in time it's a almost a full game of one guy, I think our team understands that, we have talented quarterbacks. We have guys that, can play, but right now they've not separated themselves, and we're not certain. If we were certain, I promise you, we'd play the one guy that would give us all the advantage. But if 2 guys can give us greater advantage than one guy, then let's certainly play 2.
Yeah, Les, you over here, you said that you're preparing to play Jalen Mills. Does that mean he's going to play a whole game? Does that mean you want to sit him for a half? I mean, what exactly when you say?
Yeah,
preparing?
I don't. Any of those thoughts will be something that I carry with me, and we're preparing him to play early and late.
One more question, going back to what Scott said. Do you know today who your starting quarterback is for this week? But do you know now who it is, but you're not going to say until Thursday?
Correct.
You know who it is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's either going to be one guy or the other.
Hey, Coach, on the left, this Wisconsin game, how does that challenge compare to the ones you've taken to Dallas, playing Oregon and TCU in years past? How does this team how do they force you to prepare differently this offseason?
It's a big, powerful, very physical Big Ten team, and I think our preparation has been conditioning, strength development, and speed. That's not really changed, not in the summertime, but in camp, certainly we're prepared for a different style of offense than we've seen out of North Carolina and Oregon and some other teams that we've played in the first game. These guys are talented and in a different way.
Les, following on that, do you really enjoy this kind of game? Obviously, with your roots, Big Ten run game expected from both sides of the ball, smash mouth. Are you excited about coaching in this kind of game?
Yeah, I think it's a great challenge to our team. I recognize the advantages, of having this kind of test early on in a season, and I look forward to competitive games. And this is going to be, you're going to be prepared to play 60 minutes.
Coach Leonard Fournette, how much has he improved since the start of camp? How well does he take to coaching, considering the reputation he came in with and whatnot?
Very humble guy, takes coaching all the time, wants to be a very good player, not a real quality teammate. Everything I have is he would fall right in line with, some of the great teammates we've had. I think in his room, Kenny Hilliard, Terrence McGee are certainly great examples of being a real quality teammate, and he's every bit of that.
Now that the season is upon him and upon you all, I mean, there's been a lot of build-up, some of it, from your own mouth, I guess. But
Yeah.
do you talk to him about, you may not play this game and that's not a bad thing, or you may play outstanding and that's not necessarily a great thing either?
Yeah, he's going to want the opportunity to do everything that he can do, and certainly he'll play a role in this game. So we practice like we're going to play. There's not going to be any surprise or shock that, oh my gosh, I didn't know that play. If he didn't know that play, he'll never get that one in the game, I promise. And so he'll be able to do the things that he's capable of doing. And the great thing about a guy like Leonard is he's humble, which allows him to answer questions really incrementally as we get closer and we practice prior to the game. And so when he gets to the game, he'll translate those 100 yards just like he translated the high school 100 yards. There'll be better players on the field. Certainly it's going to not be the same. He'll be hit by a college player as opposed to a high school player. But it would be my suggestion that he's one of those guys that have taken hits against pretty good defense, and he's ready for that. So no reason for him to think about winning the Heisman tomorrow, okay, or certainly, Thursday, or for that matter, Friday before the game. Just make a contribution, do the things that you're slated to do, and let's go play, and let's enjoy yourself. And expectations are really limited to what is the opinion of our room and our building, and as long as he does the things he's done, we're really good with him.
Coach, right here, Coach. Is your plan still to tell the starting quarterback that he's starting on Thursday, like you said earlier, or are you going to tell him, or have you already told him?
Yeah, we'll communicate, and those communications will be held kind of close to the vest, on how we communicate that to our quarterbacks. So.
Hey, Coach, in the back of the room. Seems like everybody who talks about number 7 wants to compare him to somebody, throw out some name. Who does he remind you of?
Leonard Fournette looks just like him. So I'm good with that. I'm really, at this point, he's a great teammate. He's competing like heck. He wants the opportunity to contribute, and I'm for him. And I don't want to preempt a performance by saying something that frankly he'll probably exceed. So if he gets 2 carries and he gets 7 yards, and they're great runs, and he did the things he was supposed to do, I'm very likely to give him an A+. And then if he does some other things, again, in his first contest, I guess my point is I'm going to let him define who he is.
Do you find, beyond just preparing for the season opening game, when you have an opponent like this, like you've had a lot in the past, that really catches your attention, do you think that helps the whole August practice stay focused? And what else would you credit your success in these fairly high profile opening games to?
Yeah, I think it gets our attention. I think it gets our players' attention a long time ago. I think it happens, in the summer, and when they run 110s and when they lift. I think there's a comfort of saying, Wisconsin. This is about the opener. This is about Wisconsin, and I think that our guys enjoy that. I think it motivates them, and I think as we get into game week, it'll be a little even more heightened.
High tech. Thinking back to the year you played Oregon, y'all certainly had 1,000 distractions that August. Do you think that in particular, such a really good opponent coming up kept those distractions from being a huge problem that year?
I think the distraction certainly qualified some of the leadership in the room, and I think the leadership was very sound, had a lot of character to it, and really kind of resented the position that they were in and played over top of it. Ultimately, I don't know that that incident was the key factor, but I think our leadership maybe was, the fact that, they were in position to lead, and I think they did a great job. And I think they'd have done a great job prior to that anyway. If that event had not occurred, I think our team would have, I think the outcome would have been very similar.
Coach, in the back, just talking about your three primary running backs, what do you think separates each one from the others and how you want to use them this weekend?
I think we have three talented guys. I don't know that we're going to separate their use. I think they all can. I think Kenny Hilliard is lighter and faster than he's ever been. I think he's going to be his best back. Terrence McGee, again, had a spectacular fall. Leonard Fournette, very, 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 accomplished fall. Darrell Williams, for that matter, man, ran hard, ball security. We're not looking at three. We're really, we're gonna have fresh legs, and we're gonna let those guys play.